Alright, welcome back to Nature Yourself. I'm Ross Ruffing, and we're here today. We're going to plant some strawberries, get some things going for the spring here. It's a nice moist day outside, so should be good. I got the Seascape Ever-Bearing strawberry from this place down the road. Always good to ask people where you're buying your stuff from, because they'll be able to tell you what's good for your area, as well as what's a good varietal to get. Because the person I talked to was like, oh yeah, like get these ones because this will produce fruit all year. And last year the fruits that I got, like, they produced early, and then it really tapered off towards the end of the year. So it was kind of a bummer, you know. Anyway, today I want to focus a little bit more back on what we had talked about first couple episodes, and that's really kind of getting back to this idea of nature yourself. A lot of the stuff I've been talking about lately has been very self-improvement, success-oriented, and while that stuff is very important, I don't want to get too far away from the original goal of this project, and that's to help people get back closer to nature, working the land, doing things that are going to help you improve your life as well as improving nature. I think that's a really important thing, and I think it's something that we all need to focus on a little bit more. So that's what we're kind of doing today. I got a bunch of strawberries here. The guy at this place down the road here, it's called Edible Landscaping. I was buying like 3 or 4 little quart pots, and he was like, dude, he's like, don't do that. He's like, hold on, I'll get you a bag. And he grabbed me like 20 of these little shoots. And, you know, luckily it's early enough that these will all hopefully produce a bunch of strawberries this year. So I'm really excited about it. I'm going to have like a nice little strawberry patch right in here. Hopefully it does really well. We will see. So let's discuss this concept a little bit more and just think about, you know, why am I planting this stuff here, and how is this going to improve my life, my situation. So this particular spot, as I mentioned in a previous video, is close to these pine trees back here, and pine trees bring the acidity of the soil up a slight bit, well, actually quite a bit. But down here a little bit further away, there's a lot of pine around, but strawberries actually prefer a little bit of an acidic soil, so this is going to be a nice spot. The other thing you want to be concerned with strawberries is you want about 6 hours of sunlight per day, especially in the middle of the summer. And this particular spot is like just enough that I think it's going to get a little bit of morning sun, and the house is going to block it for maybe an hour, and then it should get midday sun all through here, all through the middle of the day, and then this tree will block it kind of in the afternoon. Nora, leave that. So, sorry, I'll just knock the camera off. Get confused. So, what we're doing here is I'm just taking these little guys, these little root, shoot, seedling, sprout things, I don't even know what you'd call them, and I'm just putting them in a little bit of compost that I got, and just kind of covered them up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some straw over them. The guy at the store was like, or at the garden place, he was like, yeah, you know, just make sure you get some straw. Like, strawberries, true to their name, they like straw. And I never really, it took me a second even to get what he was saying, you know. But then I was like, oh, duh, yeah, straw, berries, duh. Sometimes you got to think about what's obvious and go with your gut instinct on that, because, you know, you might overlook some things if you don't listen to your gut sometimes. So The other thing about this area back here that I noticed when I came back here, I was kind of thinking this might be a good spot for these strawberries. And one thing I noticed was a lot of wild strawberries. You can tell the wild ones, strawberry leaves kind of look like that. Don't mistake it for poison ivy. I don't think any poison has really come up yet that I can show you, but strawberries, they have like little jaggedy leaves, kind of like a little tiny. So that's kind of a wild strawberry, and you'll see them around, and you'll see them pop up. They're not that good to eat, and I don't even know if they're really worth it. At least in this area, I'm sure there are certain varietals of wild strawberries that are great, but around here I haven't had much luck with that, finding those in the woods or anything. But if anybody knows more about that, I'd be happy to learn. Please let me know. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little straw in here, kind of keep them in the environment that they dig. As I do this. So, as I mentioned a bit ago, I really want to stick with, this idea of nature. Nature can really be a healing thing for you, and it'll help you improve yourself in many different ways. And I think that a great way to do that, especially right now, it's springtime. I think a lot of people, you start spending a lot more time outside. You start really remembering what it is you love about spring and summer, and you start doing a lot of this gardening and everything. And you're really connecting with nature in a very real way. And I think that's so awesome to see people do that. And you kind of go through this transformation whenever you do that, that you kind of feel like a different person when you're engaging with nature a lot. At least I do, and I hope you do too. Maybe leave a comment about that. The more time I spend in the woods, the more whole I feel as a person, and I want to instill that in my daughter and my wife and I. That's definitely been a big part of our relationship. Going to the mountains, spending time outside. And since we moved to Virginia, we've really got into the gardening aspect of things. And I think one of the easiest things you can do to improve your situation in life is to plant some food in the ground. And you'll see these things pop up and you're like, whoa, I did that. Like, that is so cool. So I'm trying to do a bunch of stuff in that way. And ultimately, I'd love to have like this food forest. If you don't know about a food forest, it's basically the idea of planting a lot of things that are going to keep coming back, and you're going to have food that grows well into the future. So that's a lot of trees, shrubs, perennial vegetables and fruits. Strawberries are a good example. Blueberries are another. I did buy a blueberry bush yesterday, but I'm keeping it in a pot so I can take it with me if we move anywhere. So anyway, this idea of naturing yourself is really important, and I feel like a few of the videos focused on it, and I want to refocus my priorities on that and with you to help you really engage with the natural world, improve your own local place so that we can inspire more people to engage with nature, improve themselves through it, and improve the future for our young ones, that hopefully they'll be able to enjoy nature in the way that we've been fortunate enough to. So thanks for listening, and we'll talk soon.